There's bugs in my apartment. Here's what to do to fix that. So here are some steps to take if you find unwanted pests in your apartment. The first thing we want to do is we want to identify what those pests are. Take a picture of the pest and send it to your corporate housing provider. They will then send that picture to the property and see what the appropriate action for that particular pest is. All the properties that Capri works at do provide quarterly pest treatments. So it is in your best interest to let the exterminators come into your apartment when they're scheduled. Oftentimes, if you don't allow them in, two things can happen. If you do have pests that are normally treated by these quarterly treatments, you could end up being charged for a revisit by the pest control. The other thing is if you don't allow the exterminator to come in, there's a greater likelihood of having pests visit your apartment. So those are a couple of things to keep in mind, but do send a picture to your corporate housing provider. Let them tell you what the bug is. Also let them know where you found the bug. Did you find it in the bathroom? Did you find it under some cabinets? Was it crawling around right outside your window? It's really helpful to us to know where you're finding these bugs so that we can relay that information to the property who then gets the exterminator to provide the right remedy. The second thing is look for any locations that may have cracks letting the bugs in. This can be especially helpful if, I hate to say it, but we do get roach infestations occasionally in apartments. So it may not be something in your apartment. It might be a neighbor's apartment who may not have reported roaches, but roaches do find ways to get into other apartments. If you're seeing pests, look for places where they might be coming in. Let your provider know, because then we can, again, relay that information to the property, who then will take the necessary actions to close up those cracks, those potential places where bugs could be coming in. Think about places maybe under the sink. Think about cracks maybe in the window, or maybe you need weather stripping replaced on your door. These are all things that we can request and get taken care of for you so that you don't have a problem with pests. Last but not least, do not treat the apartment yourself. Let your corporate housing provider know so that they can get the appropriate treatment for the property so that they can get the exterminator who can take a look at what the appropriate treatment is. For example, regular bugs that are taken care of with the quarterly pest control, you shouldn't have a lot of significant problems with. But if you have particularly a big problem with roaches, that requires actually a different treatment. Again, that is something that you will receive instruction for, of how to reduce the likelihood of inviting those bugs. Not that you would intentionally, but the things you can do to make it as unpleasant for those bugs as possible. And then the properties usually know who to contact that's most effective for whichever kind of bug that you have. Now, you may be tempted to say, well, I can do this myself. Sure you can. There's nothing to stop you. Here's the thing to be aware of. First of all, the exterminating companies, they are professionals. They have more powerful chemicals than what can be purchased over the counter, let's say at Home Depot, Walmart, or your local lumber store. The stuff we can acquire over the counter may be different than the chemicals that the professionals are spraying. What that can do is that mixture of chemicals can actually create insecticide-resistant bugs, which is not what we want. That's why it is so important that you let your corporate housing provider know when you've got a bug problem. So there is one bug that you can and need to take care of yourself, and that is the fly. So flies do not respond to chemicals. You can buy fly traps. You can buy the sticky paper. So you can use those kinds of things to trap the flying bugs that can make it into your apartment. Now, keep in mind that you also might want to look to identify if there's a source for the flies to come from. So again, just very quickly, number one, identify the bug. Send a picture of the bug that you're concerned about. Two, identify areas where there could be cracks that could be letting bugs in either from outside or possibly through the walls. And finally, make sure that you are letting your corporate housing provider know so that they can get the appropriate treatment. Keep in mind that the properties are scheduling extermination quarterly, and it is in your best interest to let the exterminator in at the right time to avoid charges or to prevent any unnecessary bug infestations. Thank you for listening. I'm so glad you're here with us today. Please subscribe to our channel and go ahead, like this video, click the bell so that you're notified when more great content like this comes up to help you in your apartment living. Ciao.